This is Season 2, Episode 14 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and Sean is not appearing in this episode.
Time for me to take another break and hand over to Sam.
Yeah, because we have a new challenger on the Out of the Mind podcast. Newly returning X-Wing player, Gareth for Tin Squadron, is playing against me today. I believe he played First Edition way back in the day.
I believe so.
And he's brought a Rebel list, and it's an interesting one. Because I think he's been using some of the more meta stuff, and he basically said, I'm just trying out stuff. And I thought, okay, no, that's fine. But over the course of the game, I think, at the very least, his last choice, I thought was more interesting than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid 3-pointer.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. So, first things first, he has a B-Wing. I would argue it's possibly the wrong B-Wing, but like I said, he's trying out stuff. It's Agent Fox, so he's a cool B-Wing. And it's a trap, parting gift, proton rockets, and proton bombs. The parting gift is when he is destroyed, he can drop it, I believe.
Yep, I believe his pilot ability is when he's stressed, he rolls an extra green.
Yep, so he's a 2... He's almost a fire spray when he's stressed.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember when Endor Spoilers came out, and I saw Adon, and I was like, I want to try that. Like, I thought the I-1 would keep his price point down, but at 5 points, when you can take him or Gina, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that is unfortunately I think Gina's underpriced, but I don't think they're going to lift her price because they want you to run the iconic duo.
Yeah. It's a shame, because at 4 points...
At 4 points, at 4 points, I think he'd be insane. I think that's the problem.
I don't know. It's...
I think he would be. I think he's... At 4 points, he's quite insanely good. Because he's a B-Wing, so you're regularly wanting to trigger that stress to get the evade, if nothing else. Like, yeah, he's I-1. But anyway, moving on. We've also... Gemma from BOE... Kyle Katarn in the Moldy Crow, the Hawk with hopeful marksmanship, Lando crew, seismic charges and delayed fuses in the Moldy Crow title. So there's an interesting 5-pointer. We've got Pops Krail. I believe this is Yavin Pops?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like
with
it.
The Iron Cannon turret, advanced proton torpedoes, and an R4 astromech. And then Lieutenant Blount with hopeful, expert handling, and a shield upgrade. And that is... a lot more loadout than I would have thought a 3-point ship had.
Yeah, Blount's got...
That's 11, right? Hopefully it's 1 point?
Yes, it is. But I suppose the flip side of that is it's still a Z95.
It's still a Z95, but at the same time, his ability makes him sort of not a Z95.
Like, it's good, but 3 points is a very, very contested slot in Rebels.
Yes, that's true. But like I like Lieutenant Blount. I think he's a solid 3-point ship. Because his ability, it's basically if there's an ally at range 0 to 4, he gets an extra dice, right?
Yes, yeah, extra red, I believe.
So he's basically a really discount X-Wing.
Yes.
If you're doing what Rebels want to do, which I think is worth something. And he's not even bad initiative, he's initiative 4.
Yeah, no, I agree. But then the flip side is you can get Hull or Wedge or Gemma. Or it's...
I'm looking at his value is that he is a 3-dice gun.
Yeah, I think as a
lot of the time.
3-pointer in a different faction, you'd see him a lot more.
Well, no, you'd slam him into Separatists.
Yeah.
And like honestly, I think he's underplayed in Rebels, because a lot of what Rebels wants to do is lob red dice at you, and this guy lobs 3 red dice for 3 points, which as a primary, a lot of the time when you're playing how Rebels want to play, which a lot of the 3-point ships that Rebels are bringing in don't do. So I think he's underutilized, but I also think that the 3-point slot is where you find all your objective monkeys in Rebels.
You know what I'd like to see.
What?
I'd like to see him at no loadout and 2 points instead of Sabine.
That would be interesting.
Because
or in addition to Sabine.
I think Sabine's too good to be a 2-point. Or at least Sabine with Beskar is.
Correct. But I think you're correct. But I would prefer there to be choice.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah,
end up bringing both, then that's the choice you make, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
if Pops is replaced by Sabine and Blount.
But like, no, certainly not enough for a shield upgrade. Maybe 1 or 2 points, so you
Oh
could
yeah,
put expert handling or hopeful or something like that on.
yeah,
But like, you've got that situational 3 dice, but you're still 4 health behind 2 greens.
yeah.
Which, to be fair, same stat line as the 2 point Z95s in Republic.
That is true.
Obviously, they don't get a situational extra red, but they also get some other pretty
They get
nifty
good stuff.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, because we'll get to it in the game, because it's like the reason I think it's interesting is because I just think it's a really discount way to get a decent gun.
Yeah.
But I guess the problem in Rebels is that you're not lacking on decent guns.
Nope.
But anyway, my list, it's the same, guys. If you've listened to the last couple of things I played in, I've got Dirge, I've got Volan, I've got Pre-Vizsla, I've got the DGS-047, I've got DGS-286. If you've forgotten what I've brought, Dirge has marksmanship, proton cannons, proton bombs in the title. Volan has elusive and afterburners. Vizsla has Bo-Katan, veteran tailgunner, and Mando optics. 047 has Diamond Boron and Jango Fett, and 286 has cluster missiles and seismic charges. I promise I have made changes to this list since this game has been played, so we'll actually have potentially something interesting. But for now, I'm just running the exact same list to see how it goes.
Okay.
And we are playing
Scramble.
This is Scramble, I believe.
Yeah.
So, obstacles-wise, we essentially made like a loop around the middle.
Yeah.
There's quite a large gap on like my left-hand side, and then as I'm looking at it, it's like reverse C.
Yeah.
There's a tight cluster to the right of the center objective, and then it sort of spreads out, going towards the left.
Yeah. And an interesting objective layout there, because 9 times out of 10, what you see in Scramble is your opponent will put it on your side of the board, as they must, as close to the middle as possible.
Which Gareth sort of did.
Yeah. I'd argue, yes, it's a little closer to your board edge than it has to be, and it's a lot further away from the centre objective.
Yeah, he placed it like at max range 3, and I think we were a little fast and loose with measuring how far it could go up. He basically placed it, and I said, "Yeah, that's legal."
Oh no, trust me, that is legal. We can almost get it to the halfway line.
Yeah,
but it's not as close to him as it could be.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the spread out, I suppose, because it means it's harder for you to go towards 2 objectives and still keep your entire list together.
Yeah, so it makes it so that I have to at least commit. If I want to tag it on turn 2, I have to commit to be in different places with ships.
Yeah.
And then I went with my usual nonsense approach, and I basically placed it almost as far towards Gareth's side as possible. Basically near the center of if I look at the board in quadrants from my angle, the top right quadrant of the board, I placed it almost as far possible up towards Gareth's as possible, and as close to the middle of that quadrant, because my thought was, if he tags it and leaves it behind, I have a fast ship that can go and just take it, and then he'll have to come back.
Yeah.
And that was as simple as that, because realistically, if I placed it along the middle, we'd just have a ridiculous extended joust, and it would come down to dice. Which I didn't want. I wanted him to grab the objective, and then I wanted him to basically be forced to leave it. Because if he has that one, and commits someone to taking that slowly, I should be able to get to the 2 near the center. And if he commits to it and leaves, I should be able to sneak someone past it. Like, the gunships are quite happily to just skate past it. Volan is fast enough. Heck, even Dirge is fast enough.
Yeah.
Setup. Gareth is first player, and he places Aiden basically dead center of the board, quite far back in his deployment. And so I place my first gunship on my left-hand side. I believe I place him far left.
No, I can see the objectives.
Can you see
yeah, your I1 is the inside.
Oh yeah, you can just see
Yeah.
the I1. So I place him like on my left hand side, but with about a range 1.5 in between him and the board edge. I line him up so he's just going to skate past the debris that was placed in my half, essentially.
Yeah.
And then Gemma goes down, and Gemma goes down directly opposite DGS-047. And I think, precision tuned cannons.
Yeah.
I have done this maneuver many a time with Dirge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Kyle Katarn, interestingly, gets placed on Gareth's left, facing along his board edge with his turret. He puts it down facing to the front, and in a turn, I say, "Look, do you want to turn the turret to the side because you've got your front arc?" So this is the first time he's played with Moldy Crow.
Fair. Yeah.
And so ignore that on the thing. But he has he has basically the front, and he changes his turret to I believe the right side in the end is what we say because he's planning on skating past, and he's basically placed along his board edge about range 1.5 to the left of Aiden Fox, essentially trying to skate in behind probably where his ships are going to end up. So we go to my 3, and I place TGS 286 in between DGS 047 and the board edge on my left hand side, basically committing 2 gunships to facing down the A wing because I fancy my chances in that trade. And then I place Pre-Vizsla directly opposite Aiden Fox, aiming down the center of the board for the center objective. Because again, whilst I can't trigger my ability against Aiden, Kyle looks like he wants to angle that way, and I do fancy Vizsla's ability to just kill Kyle.
Yeah.
Then Pops, Krail, and Blount go down. So Pops is deployed just to the right of Aiden Fox, opposite Pre-Vizsla, and Blount is deployed opposite DGS 286. So we've got the A-Wing and the Z95 against my 2 gunships. We've got Aiden and Pops against Pre-Vizsla, and Kyle Katarn is basically angled so that he's going to sort of sweep in behind Aiden Fox and Pops Krail. So I place Dirge and Volan, and I place Volan on my far right hand side, about a ship's base in from the board edge, with the idea is that I'm going to jet in as fast as I can, take Gareth's home objective, and then come in behind Kyle and Aiden, and try to utilize my glorious 3-dice gun. And I place Dirge basically in the middle between Vizsla and Volan, and I've aimed him so that if I were to do I think either a 2 straight boost or a 3 bank, my bullseye will be aiming roughly 45 degrees down the middle, which is going to be hopefully where Aiden and Pops are going to be around turn 2.
Yeah.
And that's set up.
So I'm hoping Gareth will come back and watch this because I will tell him to come and watch this. I think if I'd been in his situation, I would have set up slightly differently, and I'm curious. Now, this admittedly might be because I've played you enough times and know what you like to do with tri-fighters. But I would have set up at least Blount next to Kyle, had them facing up towards your board edge, do the slow maneuver, tag, and then keep enough of a threat there that you can't just zoom in behind.
Yeah.
Like I might have been tempted to put the B-wing or something up there as well, because there is a lane for you to then come into the middle between the Pride of Mandalore and the U-Rock, while your other ships come through the massive grab, so you still could get the engage together
where you want it. Yeah,
just wouldn't allow you to do that.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I also think this comes down to Gareth and I basically haven't really played.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get to. He basically said, like, I'm trying to get to grips with all these ships because I want to see all these different ships and how they fly. So I'm just going to line them up. And he basically played. He essentially went ship for ship up until I had I5s and he couldn't place anything after me.
That's fair.
But let's see how this goes, because I think I start relatively slowly for the most part, with the exception of Volan. And we are sharing templates because Gareth does not have any. So this one catches me off guard right away. Aiden 1 banks to the left, pointing towards Volan.
I take it all back, because I wasn't expecting that either.
I was not expecting that, and I'm thinking, uh-oh. Because whilst I do sort of fancy my ability to outfly the B-Wing, if I get it wrong, it can go really badly.
Yeah.
So he 1 back to the left and focuses. My I1 gunship does a 2 straight and calculates. Gemma does a 2 straight and focuses. Kyle does a 2 bank and unfortunately bumps into Aiden, which is really awkward. He doesn't take any damage, but it means Kyle is not stacking focus tokens.
Yeah. Looks like it was close, though, because it's on the 45.
It was really close. It was stupidly close. Vizsla does a 4 straight and focuses, and my other gunship does a 2 straight and calculates. Because Vizsla was just like, I'm getting into the center and I'm causing a problem. Blount does a 2 straight and focuses. Pops does a 2 straight and focuses. I believe Dirge does a 2 straight and focus boosts to the left, and Volan does a 5 straight and focuses. Because I'd committed to this, and now I'm hesitating.
Yeah. The problem Gareth has now is because you've come so fast with Vizsla.
Yeah.
Like, you can't leave the Y-Wing by
the Y-Wing is not going to be able to take both Vizsla and Dirge.
Quite frankly, the Y-Wing and the Moldy Crow will struggle. I think you have to then turn Adon back in.
Yeah.
Which leaves Volan free to do whatever he likes.
Yeah, so I believe Gareth wins priority. Oh, I win priority. I missed what my role was. Oh well. And I don't think anyone has system phase because I'm pretty sure Vizsla's not in range. But my gunship does a 2 straight, flips the stabilizers into side-slip mode, and claims my home objective. Aiden does a 1 bank to the left and claims his home objective. And like I said, this is not the person I thought was going to be claiming that objective.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which does scare me a little bit. Emma does a 4 straight. And ums and ahs about actions a little bit.
I really hope he focuses.
And he focuses. My I3 gunship does a 5 straight, doesn't flip the stabilizers, and I take a target lock onto Blount. Because I've got cluster missiles, and hey, look, there's an A-wing to my right, and Blount's probably going to be directly in front of me.
Yeah.
Vizsla then does a 2 straight and just claims the center objective.
I'm curious if that A-wing's actually in your front arc.
I looked at it and I was like, it's close enough that I'll try.
I mean, that's fair.
So Kyle does a 1 straight and opts to Lando.
Yeah.
I understand why this time. He's trying to catch up on focuses.
Yeah,
I get it. It's one of those things where I was like, I understand what you want to do, because really what he wanted to do was have a focus from last turn, and then Lando to hopefully get a bunch of tokens.
The problem I have is I don't like Lando on a ship that wants specific greens.
Yeah, I agree. And he does roll 2 blanks, so I opt to give him an evade.
I mean, that's harsh. Could have just let him have his 1 focus.
Look, he's getting an evade. He's got to learn why people don't put Lando crew on ships.
Trial by fire, is it, Sam?
Yeah.
Alright, fair.
Or unfortunately, we're in that stage of life. So Pops does a 2 straight and target locks Vizsla.
Okay. APT.
APT.
Yeah.
Blount does a 4 straight and focuses.
Nice.
Dirge does a 2 straight, and I focus barrel roll to line up the bullseye onto Pops. And then Volan does a 3 bank to the left. I afterburners boost, and then I barrel to the left, dodging Aiden's arc, but I opt not to evade because I'm pretty sure I'm clear of shots. Because this way I'm not in Aiden's arc, I'm not getting shot by him, and I have options for next turn.
Turret's pointed out the side of the...
The Y-Wing's turret is pointed forward.
No, the Hawk, right?
Yes, it is. It's pointed out the side, but yeah,
he could shoot.
I figured I'd risk that one.
It's one of those few rare range 3 turrets.
Yeah, that one I was like, I'll risk that. He doesn't have a mod, and I've got range 4 possibly obstructed.
Right,
anyway, proton cannon into Pops.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Look, I think I just straight rolled 4 hits, and then obviously proton cannon marksmanship for 2 hits, 2 crits.
Yeah, nasty, sir. Nasty.
You talk about nasty. He rolls an evade. Unfortunately, the nasty part is about to arrive.
Oh god, blinded pilot, isn't it? For a start.
No, it's not. It's worse.
Structural damage.
Structural damage. Oh no, is this not the disabled power regulator? I'm
Hang
pretty
on.
sure I put a disabled power regulator on him.
Yeah, why is he only taken? Oh, because he rolled an evade. So
He rolled an evade, yeah.
um,
I thought I put something else on him. I never mind. It's not as nasty. I believe Volan goes into. Oh yeah, yeah. This is where the nasty. Volan goes into pops because of that structural damage, and I just rolled 2 crits out of hand. He rolls blank focus. Yeah. So here is this disabled power regulator in the wounded pilot, which means Pops is losing his lock before he engages.
Okay.
Because he's ionizing.
Okay. So
this is Blount.
Okay, nice. The 4 dice. All right. Yeah, fine.
This is Blount into my gunship. I just take it.
4 hits in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair. So that's Pops, right?
Yeah. Now it's Pops.
Loses the lock.
Loses the lock.
And then fires the ion cannon into you, right? Because he gets his rerolls.
Oh, I didn't know. So he talked about firing the ion cannon turret, and I said I advised against it. I didn't realize he gets rerolls on turrets.
Let me check. Let me check that it's that one and not the standardized loader. Sorry, not the custom one that gets it. I know one of the Popses does.
Because I said he was unlikely to get much more than 1 damage and a couple of ions on return.
Yeah, that's Boy Pops, right?
I believe it is.
When you perform a turret attack, you may reroll up to 2 of your attack dice.
Okay, I did not know that. In which case, Gareth, I'm sorry. My advice was wrong. My advice was based off the fact that we're range 1. He's unlikely to put the 3 ions needed to ionize me.
True. But it's also 4 dice, not 3 dice, and he's more likely to just plink that 1 through.
Yes, that is true. I didn't realise he would get rerolls.
But even without the rerolls, if you're unmodded, throw more dice.
Yeah, yes and no. In some circumstances, yes. I said, okay, do you want to cap out at 1 damage or hope for more?
Honestly, with facing you down, I think you in that situation you just plink 1 damage. But yeah, the fact that he got rerolls means it could have been more.
Yeah,
but
I did not know.
No, that's fair.
Rerolls on his turrets.
I will tell him tomorrow at club night how much you cheated him out of this game. Don't worry. But anyway, to the actual dice rolling. Okay, there we go. Checking.
Yeah. So I can't remember what he's checking here. He's basically looking through all his creds of sadness, and he's like looking at shots. I was like, you've got Dirge, which you can ionize. I can't remember who he goes into. I have a funny feeling he rolls hit focus blank. Okay. Oh, so he knows he's got his rerolls. I just didn't, and I was like, cool, he's got his thing that he can do.
So this must be the iron turret into Dirge.
This is the iron turret into Dirge.
Which actually, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I roll Jackal.
Yeah, cool.
And so I take a shield and an iron token on Dirge, and I'm not super happy at that, but it's not the worst.
No, because Moldy Crow can turn in next turn, knowing you're going to be there.
Unfortunately, Vizsla now throws 5 dice back at Pops.
Yeah.
Against the structural damage, and I get hit, crit, and he dies.
Yeah, fair. I mean, that was just unfortunate. Like,
like if it weren't for the disabled power regulator, literally any other crit, and he gets to throw an APT. You know, even blinded pilot, you still throw the APT.
Yeah.
Like it was just literally that 1 crit, like weapons failure, APT.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
So I'm checking my arc. So I think I do have front arc onto the A-wing. I think. Anyway, I get hit crit into Blount with my cluster missile from DJS 286, and we go and have a look. Oh, and am I pointing out Hopeful? Please tell me I pointed out Hopeful, because if not, we forgot about Hopeful.
Who's got? Oh yeah, Kyle
Blount has Hopeful.
Yeah, there you go. Gets a focus.
Yeah, Kyle gets a focus, and I think Blount tries to. Oh wait, I think I just didn't notice that Blount has Hopeful, but I pointed out Hopeful on Kyle because that's just what I saw in front of me. I
don't think Blount would have been in range anyway.
Okay.
And also, where's he boosting to?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was looking at it and I was like, he probably couldn't have boosted, but it's one of those things where had he been able to and gotten out of the cluster, I would have been really sad. But I believe I put a shield onto Blount
Yeah.
with the cluster missile, and then I bounce it into the A wing, and I think I put a shield if anything, but I don't think I do anything.
It didn't look like you did anything.
Yeah, because there are no locks. So we double check Kyle, and I think he's got range 3 out the front into Dirge, or range 3 obstructed out the side. I think it's just range 3 into Volan.
I mean, I've been tempted by the Volan shot at this point.
Yeah, just he has gained a focus, which means my plan to not take an evade is a little bit silly now.
Yeah, just try and plink. Okay.
So I think this is. I think this might be into Dirge.
Yeah, because 3 dice. Hit crit.
I roll an evade. Oh no, this is Vizsla. Okay. I lose my shields and.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Then Gemma. So I think there's me adding the focus to his thing. He gets 2 hits.
Spends the focus, right? For 3.
Spends the focus for 3. I roll 1 evade and I lose 2 shields. And then I ping back at him for 2 hit. I roll 1 hit. He rolls 1 evade. Because he's in my front arc and bullseye, I acquire a lock on him and give him a strain, thanks to DGS047.
Nice.
And then that's it, because Aiden does not have a shot. And it's 2 points to me, 1 point to Gareth. And unfortunately for Gareth, Kyle is in an awkward spot.
Yes and no.
Because he's sort of alone facing Vizsla and Dirge. And yeah, Dirge is ionized, but Dirge is quite happy to 1 bank.
I turn away.
Yeah.
Turn into Dirge. I can't remember what. I take it the Hawk doesn't have a 3 hard.
I think it might do, but it's red.
I'm hoping he's dialed in a turnaround with Adon, preferably a 2k.
1 hard would be nice, I think, maybe. I can't remember what. It's been a while since we played this game, so I can't actually.
Probably the 1 hard is you could zip past that. 2k leaves his art nice and open. But yeah.
So, system face, hopefully. I just decided not to use Mando Optics, apparently. Normally remember that one.
I think I might consider dropping a proton bomb there.
Yeah.
From Aiden.
I think Gareth probably would have, but I think he might have forgot he has one.
That's fair. I mean, I forget bombs all the time. So.
I can't remember if I kill Aiden, but I also don't think he used Parting Gift.
Fair enough. I mean, it's his first time playing with a lot of these ships, so...
Yeah. So I do a 2-bank side slip to the right with DGS047 and I take a calculate, because Blount and Gemma might be there. So Aiden does a 1 hard to the right and gets a stress, unfortunately. Gemma does a 3 sloop.
Alright, that's interesting.
So keeps his strain and does, unfortunately... He does land quite literally just next to DGS047 right in front of him. DGS286 does a 2 hard to the right, turning into the board. And I barrel roll to the right, trying to block Blount, because I thought Blount might either 2 hard or 2 bank. And I wanted to land him I wanted to block him to prevent him from taking the objective, and also stop him right in front of DGS047. Vizsla then moves, and I just do a 1 bank, and I focus. And then Kyle gets me, because he just 4 straights.
I mean... You say he gets...
I got my rear shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my rear shot, but I kind of wanted him to just bump into me. And I believe he focus rotates his turret.
Okay.
Puts it to the back. Blount does a 3k. And then Dirge 1 banks up to where he thought Kyle was going to be. Volan 1 hards into Aiden, because I thought Aiden was doing a 2k. And takes the red focus because doesn't want to die.
Yeah, seems legit.
Is that not a bump?
No,
I think that might not be. I think that might not be a bump because I don't see a stress next to Dirge.
I don't.
To Volan.
Yeah, all right, maybe not. But also, why are you only rolling 3?
Maybe it is. I can't see.
Maybe it's.
Oh no! It's not. Kyle passed the focus to Aiden. That's why he rotated the turret back.
That makes sense.
So it is a bump. I just chose not to take the red focus because I wanted to. I wanted to K-turn next turn, basically.
Fair.
Aiden rolls 2 agility and takes no damage. Dirge has a range 2 obstructed shot, so Aiden gets to roll 3 dice and dodges everything.
Nice.
And then I believe we're down to Gemma.
No, I think this is Blount going into the back
No,
of...
this is Blount. This is Blount going into the back of my gunship again.
Because you've got your range 1 of Gemma.
Yeah, because I'm range 1 of Gemma. And I believe this is hit crit.
Yeah.
I roll an evade, so I take hit crit.
Stun pilot.
And it's stun pilot.
Yeah. Although Gemma can get his calculate and then... Oh no, that is range 1, so he can't do his precision. But he's got the front arc, so...
Yeah. Then Vizsla shoots into Aiden. And I roll hit crit. Aiden rolls double focus. Still has his focus token from Kyle. And so it does spend it to dodge everything. Out the back, Veteran Tail Gunner, range 1 into Kyle. I roll hit crit, focus. Then I Bo-Katan the focus into a crit. And Kyle rolls 1 evade, so Kyle's shields are down. Then Gemma, range 1 into... Wait, no, this isn't Gemma. This is my gunship. GGF 286 into Gemma, I believe. Because Gemma is strained, so now is the time. Rolls a single evade. And I believe loses the shields.
Yeah.
I just haven't updated it on the overlay, I don't think. So Gemma gets her calculate and rolls range 1 into DGS 286 and rolls blank focus focus.
Sad Gemma.
Sad Gemma.
Don't spend.
Yeah, he doesn't spend because I've got a range 1 shot with a reroll. I roll hit, focus. I re-roll the... Sorry, hit, blank. Reroll the blank into a focus. Spend my calculate for 3. And then Gemma rolls 3 focuses.
So spend a calculate.
Spend a calculate, and unfortunately this means Gemma is dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would like to point out that in the case of Gemma, I think he did Gemma right. he at least token management wise, he just very important. He rolled an infinite number of focuses.
Yeah.
Now the question is do you think he should have passed the focus token to Aiden or Gemma with Kyle?
Probably
both.
Probably Gemma.
Yeah.
Because I think
Aiden has the health.
Aiden has the health. I think you risk. Because what you could have done... Hang on, let me just check the exact wording on Gemma. Where am I going? RZ2. Gemma. No, it's at the end of the neutralize results step. Alright. Because if you'd rolled less hot...
Yeah.
Or he'd rolled 1 natural evade, he could have spent that calculate, and then he could have used the other focus result to ditch the stress.
Yeah.
Which would have been nice, but...
Would have been good. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Aiden has a range 2 shot into Dirge, rolls hit focus focus. I think it might be obstructed. It is, and I roll 1 evade, so I dodge it.
Yeah, I think I would have been tempted by the range 0 into Volan there. No mods either way.
And then it is, again, 2 points to me, 1 point to Gareth, and it's unfortunately 11-2 to me. And again, Kyle is in an awkward spot.
Because he's stressed. Because I mean, if he'd passed the token to Gemma, he wouldn't have had to rotate. His turret's pointing out the side. He could just circle round behind and start.
Yeah.
At least plinking.
But I believe I am first player again. And Aiden drops a bomb out the side.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
good because Vizsla's going that way. Dirge might be going that way. Volan is there. And Kyle also drops a bomb. It's a seismic.
And hang on, there is another rock the other side.
There is another rock to the other side of Vizsla. However, I know it's not in range, and I think we're having a discussion where I say, "Are you sure?" I think I'm saying, "Do you sure you want to drop it?" Because there's only one rock in range. Yeah, because I think he forgot how it works. I said, "Look, are you sure you want to drop it?" Because there's only one rock in range. And so it's depending on what you've done with Kyle, it might hit you because he thought it spread from the seismic, not the asteroid.
I see.
He thought like you destroy an asteroid, but it's range 1 from the token.
Yeah.
And I was like, just before you do that, are you sure you want to do it? Because that rock is very unlikely to hit the ships you want to hit with bombs.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it might hit you. So DGS 047, I believe, does a 1 straight and calculates. DGS 286 does a 3 straight over the top of 047, and I think I just calculate.
Looks like Aidon's done a 2-bank there.
Yep, Aiden did a 2-bank over the top of Volan and has stressed himself somehow.
Stay stressed. Because it's not,
it's
not blue, right? Yeah.
Vizsla stops, flips the wings, and rotates 180 degrees to come look back at Kyle.
Yeah, makes sense.
Kyle does a 2 straight, clears the stress.
Oh, does that land, does it?
Yeah, it lands.
Nice. Focus.
Oh, doesn't land. It must not land because it's a red focus he takes there.
Still focus.
Still focus. Lieutenant Blount does a 2 hard into the board, stays stressed.
See, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I think if he's got 11 points, I might have built Blount with shield upgrade Predator. Just for situations like this.
Yeah.
But
Dirge does a 2-bank, accepts bomb life, and tags the objective. Volan does a 1 Talon. I believe engages in Ultimate Sadness.
Good.
Because he's not in range of Aiden to pass off that.
Oh no,
stress.
you shall just have to sit at range 2 behind him and shoot him. Poor you.
I should just have to eat a proton bomb.
Good.
No, it's not good. Anywho, I believe Aiden gets hit, Dirge gets hit, and Volan gets hit. Volan takes a hull breach.
Good, it's about time for the luck when
Dirge loses his last shield. And Aiden loses the shield.
So that looked like
I've lost track of who's shooting.
So that looks like Volan into the back of Aiden.
Yeah. I don't think I did anything.
No.
Yeah, because now we're on Blount. And I was like, okay, you got range 1 or you got range 2. So you got range 2 into a guy who's on 2 health, and you got range 1 into a guy who's on 6 health. Kyle has passed a focus to Blount. That's the thing we also need to remember. That's why staying stressed is okay with Blount, because you can just take
so the guy with 6 health is range 1 of Kyle as well, and the guy with 2 health is range 0, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It looks like it.
Is Blount's ability range 0 to 1 or range 1?
Yes, it's range 0 to 1.
Ooh. So 3 into 1 and you need to do 2. Problem is, dice could just go that. I still think you go into 286 and try and kill him.
Yeah, I think you do as well.
If you don't manage to do it, then you do the range 0 with Kyle.
Yeah.
And honestly, if 6 dice with 1 focus on 3 and no mods against 2 sets of 1 green don't do 2 damage, you've been a little unlucky.
Yeah. Yeah, so he goes to the range 2. He rolls hit, crit, focus.
And spends, right?
Yeah, spends to guarantee. And I roll an evade.
Because also, that initiative kills 286 before 286 can shoot Kyle.
Yes, that is exactly true.
Which is fine. Because then Kyle. I mean, actually, it's
Kyle is going to get to shoot because I can't stop him because
Yeah.
I can kill him at I3, but that's it. So Vizsla spends his charges and shoots Kyle at range 2. I roll I roll hit focus blank blank and retreat in sadness. Kyle rolls evade focus and is happy. Then Kyle range ones at the front into my gunship.
Yeah. Oh.
Rolls hit triple blank.
Unfortunate.
So we're both having a bit of a whiffer.
Yeah, fine. Fair.
And then it's my I1. And unfortunately, the lock on Blount is gone, so I just go out the side into Kyle. Because if I could just plink off Kyle, like that's basically game. And I roll hit crit out of hand because it's DGS 047, and that's what he does.
And that looked like evade blank.
Evade blank on Kyle, unfortunately.
Oh, not a direct. Not a direct. That looks like, if I'm guessing, a fuel leak. Let's see. Oh, I was right.
Fuel leak, yes. Then Aiden has range 2 into Pre-Vizsla.
Nice.
Rolls hit blank blank, and I roll focus. So Vizsla takes no damage.
But then you get 3 objective points.
Then I get 3 objective points, unfortunately, and it's 14-5. And that basically seals the deal, to be honest.
I mean, unless he starts claiming points back, it's done in 2 turns anyway.
Yeah.
And that's if you don't kill anything else.
And that's assuming that Kyle doesn't die.
Kyle's on 1 head. Surely you just pile as much in towards Kyle as you can. And I mean, Kyle's stressed. Just 2 straight with the gauntlet, right? And
yeah.
See where you go. 1 bank in if you want. Like. I hope he drops another proton bomb.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I would. Did Dirge turn around? I can't see from.
No, he 2-banked and claimed that far objective, so Dirge ain't doing nothing.
I'd definitely drop a proton bomb then. Make Dirge turn to the left.
Alright, and Gareth wins first player, which is also a little awkward for him, because it means Kyle goes before Vizsla. And the reason that's relevant is that if Vizsla doesn't complete his move, his wings stay flipped up.
Yep.
And unlikely as it is that he's going to die, wings up will help it. But yeah, so Aiden does drop his last proton bomb behind him, straight into where Volan's going to be, and possibly Dirge.
I mean, I'm assuming Volan's just turned away at this point.
I believe Volan has turned away, even after I've gone mad with power.
And was that you finally Mando Optics there?
Yes, I believe that was me finally Mando Opticsing. I think I've got a lock onto Kyle.
No, is it 3?
No.
You've gone Blount, I believe, looking at that.
I've gone Blount. That makes no sense.
Planning on killing Kyle with Dirge?
That makes 0. I don't know.
So it looks like Aiden's done 2 straight looking at that.
Yeah,
clear as stress.
Like a 2 straight to me. Clear as stress.
Claim. Like, the odds of you winning at this point are slim. But unless you claim, you just guarantee. All right, yes, fine, it's nearly 0, but you never know. You could completely win.
You never know.
Kyle
could live.
We've all rolled 3 blanks into 3 blanks. It does happen. But if you don't claim, you win in 2 turns.
Like this is the turn you Lando and you hope.
Oh, for Kyle, yeah. Sorry,
Focus on it. That's the sort of thing. Like, it's unlikely to win, but there are options. And so with Kyle, you move, you clear your stress, you land El Calrissian, and you hope you get focus.
Yeah, because this turret's pointing out the back, so he can still shoot.
Yes.
But yeah, Aiden claims that center one. Because either you let it go and it delays turn, there we go, or you do it and you're not getting tokens.
My gunship stops because I'm trying to stop Kyle Katarn from moving. Kyle ignores me and does a 3 straight.
Now you definitely land though.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, I unfortunately I don't think he does because I'm pretty sure he only landed once.
Oh, okay.
He boosts.
Focus boost.
I didn't dislike either.
Focus boost.
Yeah, I believe it's focus boost.
Okay, I don't mind that.
Yeah. I didn't mind it either. Vizsla does a 2 straight and focuses, I believe. Blount 2 banks over the top of my gunship, meaning my gunship stop was completely useless. I mean, he's safe now, I guess, but
Yeah,
Blount
but
has now dropped himself at range 1 of Vizsla, and I do have a target lock focus. Woohoo! I was a prescient person. Go me.
yeah.
The irony is, I'm pretty sure I don't shoot Blount.
I was going to say, like, at this point, it's better you're shooting Blount, who's lost, for Gareth's point of view, who's lost 1 shield, than... Because you're not doing your ability, you did that last turn, right?
Yeah.
So it's still 4 on 2.
So Blount does a focus. Yeah, so Dirge, Volan has gone mad with power. I 3-bank over the top of the proton bomb.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's... Like, alright, the game's put to bed, but in hindsight...
my thought was... I'm barreling out of it, was my thought.
In a vacuum, that's stupid. He should have just turned...
I thought I could definitely avoid it. This is completely ignoring the fact that Gareth could have dropped it out the side, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. What happens if Gareth had done a 1 straight instead of a 2 straight, and then you bump?
Then sadness engages.
Like, I get it's club night, but yeah, that should have been a turn.
So Dirge did a two talon in the vain hope that there'd be someone in his firing arc. Volan just barrel rolled and didn't link it because he's not getting shots. The proton bomb hits no one, and we go to the shooting. Volan, I believe, plinks a shield off Aiden.
I think 2, judging by what I saw.
Shields off
Aiden. That looked like hit crit and
yeah,
nothing on the greens.
Dirge does nothing. He rolls focus blank. Unfortunately, Blount has no one.
And this looks like Vizsla range 2 into...
This is range 2 into Kyle, and I roll crit blank blank.
Nice.
And Kyle rolls evade focus blank. And I check out the back, and I do have Aiden, and I roll focus, so I spend my focus token for 2 results. Aiden rolls a focus, so takes 2 damage. Aiden's on 3. Then we go to Kyle, who has range 2 into my gunship out of the back. He rolls hit crit. I roll a blank.
Blinded would be great now.
And it is... Did I just not put anything? I think
know.
I might have just gotten to the end and stopped updating it quite as reliably.
Fair.
I don't think it was wholly relevant. Because there is only 1 card there.
This looks like
Aiden.
Plinking another
Aiden
one.
into Vizsla.
No, Aiden into DGS.
Oh, Aiden into DGS, and I take another 1 damage. And then the points stick up, and it's 16-6.
Did DGS not... Oh, no, you must have shot beforehand. Yeah. Okay, so 16-6.
I possibly forgot to shoot with DGS. I also...
I mean, it depends if you had... I mean, it looks like you've got Kyle.
I'm not sure I've got Arc, actually.
It's close, but it looks like you've got Kyle.
And at some point, DGS's stress has disappeared.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just weird. So let's look. Gareth's 10 points behind.
Kyle's on 1, Aiden's on 3.
Is the problem, is it? Like, yes, you could say Volan's on 2, but Aiden has no proton bombs anymore. Kyle's just running away, which, quite frankly, he can't do, because... I mean...
He's being chased down by a large base ship.
Although... Does a 1 bank put you on the debris? I think it might.
A 1 bank bumps me into Blount, which I don't mind.
That's a good point. Oh, yeah, I suppose it would. Yeah, I'm fine. In which case, that's what you do.
Pointing that way.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you'd clear, but yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember if I do that or not. I might too hard.
The only problem with the hard turn is I think it might put it too far round if he's just done a 1 bank.
Or I just stop.
Or you just stop. Because at
this point, Aiden is also very killable.
Yeah. Like, surely you just do a 2 straight with a tri-fighter, see where Aiden goes, and chase after him. Dirge can do whatever is
2
fast
straight,
straight.
2 bank.
Yeah. 3 straight. Focus boosting.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd have gone 2 straight because then I just have more range to line up a proton cannon.
Yeah, that's true. You don't really need to worry about getting range, do you? So long as it's in range.
Yeah. I believe I win priority. This disappearing stress didn't matter because I was always doing a 2 hard side slip with my gunship. I then calculate. I apparently don't Mando optics because I guess I've just changed my mind on who I want to shoot.
Fair.
Aiden does a 1 bank or a 2 bank and bumps into.
I was gonna say I thought that was a 3, but
possibly a 3, but bumps into Vizsla.
Takes the red focus. Yeah.
Yep, takes the red focus.
Nice.
Vizsla does stop, and I rotate, and we realise that we're no longer at range 0.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. They're square, but also not square. Sad Aiden.
Yeah, very sad Aiden, unfortunately. So Kyle does a 2 hard and stays stressed. Blount does a 3k. So, all of a sudden... Yeah, so I 5 straight because okay. Volan has a target and his name is Kyle.
Yeah, fair. But...
And I believe I afterburners boost and then I focus.
I hope he kills Volan. Like, I know he hasn't got the game, but sweet revenge.
Dirge, I think that is a 3 straight, and I do focus boost because I was trying to line up the bullseye, and I think it just misses.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So this is interesting because, on the one hand, Aiden probably should maybe die. On the other hand, if he doesn't, Vizsla could very well die.
Yeah, he could.
Because that would be 9 dice, 9 reds into 2 greens is if Aiden lives. And if Aiden doesn't live, I win regardless.
I mean...
So Kyle, in the optimistic play of the lifetime, passes his focus to Blount.
I mean, the problem is... Even if Vizsla wins dice, you still win. Like, because you've got 2 objective. Gareth's got 1.
We know time's up.
Yeah, so Gareth has to score 11 points of ships this turn.
Yeah.
So
I think that was the impetus behind passing the focus to Blount, because he was like, well, if I'm losing, let's try and kill something.
He's got to god roll on his greens and then somehow do 8 damage with 1 shot because he's only got 3 ships and he needs to kill 3 ships.
Yeah.
So
so Volan spends his focus and he gets 4 hits into Kyle. Kyle rolls 2 focuses. So even if he'd kept the focus token, Kyle was dying. Dirge has no bullseye, so just decides to go range 3 into Blount to try and strip that focus. And then I think Blount has range 1 into Volan.
Yeah, you do that. You do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't win. Just try and you've got more chance of killing Volan and getting the points through. He's got no mods. Because is Aiden range 1?
I think Aiden is range 1 of both of them, and then we realise actually Blount does have range 1 of Vizsla if he wants it.
I still think you go into Volan.
Yeah. So he's going into Volan. He rolls hit, focus, spends his focus for 4 hits.
So you're taking at least 1 crit.
Yep. I roll blank, focus blank. I elusive a blank into an evade, and I take 3 crits. Volan dies a horrible, horrible death. I think there's fuel leaks and direct hits in there. I didn't track it. Vizsla triggers his ability and just rolls
God roll?
God roll into Blount.
Was that 5 results?
I think that was 5 hits.
You literally swipe Blount off the board.
Yeah, I just delete Blount.
That was nasty.
My gunship rolls hit crit into Aiden just to really trigger everything. He rolls focus blank and spends his focus token, takes only 1 crit, doesn't die. Then Aiden has a shot. Rolls. I think he tries to finish off DGS and doesn't.
Fair.
The game ends 24-10. And It was a bit of an unfortunate ending, but I think the setup really hurt Gareth. Like, really hurt Gareth.
Yeah.
Because after Pops died, it essentially became down to I have 5 ships and he has 4 ships. If we trade 1 for 1 until the end of time, I will win. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for Gareth, it didn't quite go 1-1.
But like,
yeah,
like I suppose the execution of the game was actually pretty good. It was just, as you say, the setup and I suppose almost recovering from that.
yeah, because having to divert Aiden to go grab his objective meant that Aiden wasn't with Pops fighting Vizsla and Dirge. And like, maybe I still win that, but at least it's a fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, because that way Dirge has to be like, oh, who do I try and line up the bullseye on? And then Vizsla is like, because then I have to pick one of them, right? And then maybe Pops gets to fire the APT, or at the very least Aiden gets to fire his proton rockets.
Yeah. I completely forgot Aiden had proton rockets.
Yeah, but Aiden unfortunately had to divert. Aiden diverted off to get the objective, whereas Gemma could have done that.
Yeah.
And after seeing what Blount can do when he's being fed focuses by Kyle, I think Blount should have been with Pops and Aiden in the center.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just be like, look, we're a block. We roll lots of red dice. If you decide to shoot Blount, then fine. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because in the center engagement, only Dirge can kill Blount before Blount shoots. It's probably not happening. Like a proton cannon, 5 dice against 2. It can happen, sure, but you're probably not one-tapping Blount.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple of shots, and that's a couple of shots you're not shooting other things.
Yeah, like Pops with his APT and Aiden with proton rockets and stuff like that.
Exactly. No, it's interesting. Blount was definitely more effective than I thought.
Yeah, this is the game that I think actually maybe Blount is underutilized, but then I guess you're right. Like when you get down to 3 points, Rebels aren't looking for another gun.
That's the problem. Like I look at him and go, "Cool, he can throw 3 reds," and they just go, "Hull, who's got a double modded AP, a self double modded APT." Like, yes, you don't always get it off, but the threat's there, and like it probably takes about the same number of shots to kill them.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
but I will say it made me think. I think Lieutenant Blount is more of an option than people give him credit for.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, that's
because he also wants to do exactly what Pops wants to do. He wants to join like your wedges and your fens jumping into range 1.
Yeah, definitely. Just curious what.
I guess he suffers from just being a Zed and not a Republic Zed, because the Republic Zeds get their extra actions if they do blues.
Yeah. And also, I think possibly looking at that suffers from talent mod.
Yeah.
This is.
But honestly, shield upgrade mix it like I think shield upgrade Predator is a good way to go.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd do. But
either way, we're not really here to talk about Lieutenant Blount. Like, although I will say I think he is more of an option than people give him credit for. That's my final take.
That is fair.
Whether he is an option you take or not is neither here nor there. I think when I looked at him, I was like, okay, yeah, all across the board, like, okay, cool ability, whatever. And then when he actually starts throwing 4 dice every single round, you're like, okay,
yeah,
okay, this is a good 3 points. Because, like, yeah, double modded APT, but that's usually once. As long as Lieutenant Blount's alive, he is a 4 dice threat every single turn, and that's nothing to be sniffed at.
No, that is true. I think for me, it's just the health pool. Because, well, yes, he should give or take the same amount of shots to die as the Y-Wing. There's always going to be those times where you blank out.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's always going to be those times where you die to Dirge's proton cannon.
Yeah, exactly. And on the note of my many times suffered dying to Dirge's proton cannon,
Yeah, well, now I've probably been baited into taking it off.
Good. We'll wrap it up for this week. We will be back next week with... I have no idea, because we've recorded the last 4 episodes many weeks in advance because someone is jetting off to the other side of the world. Or
Hell yeah, which means by the time we get to recording the next one, we'll have who knows what game we'll be playing.
in fact, by the time this one gets released, I believe you'll be back from the other side of the world.
Yes.
With that far in advance. So yeah, we'll see what we've dug up over the next fortnight or so. And,
chances are it's probably one of your games.
Yeah, it probably will. Cool. On that note, I'll just say see you guys next week.
Yeah, and I'll say ta-ta.